Hi, my name is Lily and welcome back to my channel. The reason I am so excited today is because I have finally got a ring light so you can actually see me properly and I can film at any time of day and I'm so excited. I was only able to afford this because I won a costume competition at work and it gave me some vouchers as a reward for it. So yes, I'm very excited. I haven't quite figured out where it should be, so if you keep seeing the reflection in my glasses, I'm really sorry. I am working on it, but it's going to be a trial and error process. I hope you don't mind. So this video itself is going to be my end of the year tag, which is a bit of a wrap up about what your plans are for the rest of the year and maybe having a little look at next year. So I have read a lot this year. I think I'm at either 76 or 77 when I'm filming this, which is total books read this year, which is a lot more than I was aiming for originally. I usually just aim for 52 books in the year, and that's an average of one a week, and that's very manageable for me. I'm quite a busy person and a slow reader, so one book a week is pretty manageable. I've gone over that because of lockdown really and because of COVID and because I've had so much extra time. So I'm really proud of myself for that. So I'm really interested to see what questions come up in this tag to get me talking about my books and the rest of the year. The first question is, are there any books that you've started so far this year that you need to finish? Usually I'm pretty good at reading a book start to finish unless I'm completely DNFing, but I do have a couple of books that I keep dipping in and out of that I need to get back to. The first one is Kingdom of Ash, which I have spoken about a lot on this channel, and that is because I'm really struggling with it, not because it's bad, but because it's so chunky and I really don't remember much. Sorry, my cat, she's only 7 months old, so she's gonna play. I'm gonna go shut the door so you can't hear her as badly. But yes, so Kingdom of Ash is super duper chunky and you have to remember like all of the books leading up to it, including Tower of Dawn. So the reason I've not really been that up on reading it is because I hated Tower of Dawn and I really didn't want to have to reread that. I reread the whole Throne of Glass series via audiobook before getting to Kingdom of Ash, but I really didn't want to read Tower of Dawn, but I think I'm gonna have to find a way. My plan is to read a summary online about Tower of Dawn and hope that gives me enough information, but I just haven't got around to it yet. The other book that I really do need to finish is Addie LaRue. That's by V.E. Schwab, and you probably would have heard of it if you're watching BookTube because it's Addie LaRue, everyone's talking about it. I have 3 copies of it now. I have the Waterstones exclusive, the Forbidden Planet exclusive, and the Illumicrate edition. I still haven't read a single one of them. I've started, I think I got about 50 pages in. I haven't even got to the bit where Addie's actually made the deal with the devil yet, which I'm not doing very well. Sorry, my camera's not very well set up. I'm just going to move it down. There we go. Now you can actually see me. So, Addie LaRue. Yeah, I didn't like instantly fall in love with Addie when I was reading it, which I think was what I found really difficult. And the writing was quite different to what I was expecting, and it is a chunker. So I'll get to it. I really do hope to read it before the end of the year. I don't want to buddy read this one though, because a lot of people love it so much, but I really do hope to get to it. Next question is, are there any autumnal books that you plan to read to transition you into this time of year? Bit of a weird question to be answering at this time of the year because it's now November and to me that's when we're starting to get into the winter season. But there are still some autumnal books that I would like to read. Top 3 on my TBR are Gideon the Ninth, A Deadly Education, and Ninth House. It is really hard on my TBR, I promise. I'm actually going to be buddy reading Ninth House and Gideon the Ninth with 2 different people, which is going to be really helpful for getting me into them. The reason I consider them autumnal is because they're all a bit spooky and have that witchy sort of necromancy vibe, which to me feels very autumnal wintry. Next question is there a new release you're still holding out for this year? And honestly, I'm not really that up on my new releases. I tend to just wait for book Twitter to hype a book up and then I buy it. That's usually what I do. The only one that really comes to mind is I am still waiting for my Fairy Loot Shadow and Bone Collector's Edition, which isn't a new release per se, it's a new edition, and that one hasn't shipped yet when I'm filming this, so that's as close as it gets. I had to cancel a lot of my pre-orders because my finances are quite tight at the moment. My rent is higher than I was expecting it to be and all that sort of bits and bobs. So yeah, I'm not really big up on the pre-orders at the moment because it doesn't really work with my finances. So next question is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Other than the ones I've already spoken about, 3 that are really high up on my TBR are Nala's World by Dean Nicholson. This is a story of Dean and how he found his kitten Nala when he was cycling around the world. He decided to adopt her and take her on his travels, and I follow him on Instagram. He's really great and really funny. He's called One Bike One World on Instagram. You can find him. It's a really great Instagram, mostly about Nala now. So that's going to be really fun. I also want to read The Gilded Ones because I have the Fairy Loot paperback early release copy, so I really want to read that before it's released. And I also really want to read The Kiss Quotient. If you've just seen my video went up on Friday about Autism Rex, that one is really, really high up there because I've had that on my TBR for a few weeks now and I really do want to get to it. Next question is there a book you are yet to read that you think could become your favourite book of the year? And yes, definitely. I don't, in my mind, immediately come up with a favourite book of the year so far. So I think there's still a lot of books that could take that title, especially because there's a lot of really amazing hyped up books I haven't read yet. So I'm just going to list a few that I think are potential favourites that I'm hoping to read by the end of this year. They are Ninth House, Addie LaRue, Crescent City, Gideon the Ninth, The Midnight Library, The Gilded Ones potentially, and I think that's probably it. Those are probably the ones that I think could take top spot. Also Kingdom of Souls, if I get to read that one as well. There's like a whole shelf on my TBR cart that's all books I'm really hyped to read, and all of them I think are potential favourites, so I'm really hoping to get through some of them in the next couple of months and see if any of them take favourite spot. Next up is, do you have any plans already for 2021? And I kind of do. My plan is, as per usual, to set my goal as 52 books. I originally, when I first joined Goodreads, would up it every year to sort of challenge myself to read more and more. But now that I've reached 52 books a year as my goal, I think that's a good place to stop because it's manageable as someone who works full time and has a full life outside of that. And I don't want to pressure myself into reading more. When I reached 52 books really early in this year, I did up it to 100 and I started to find it really stressful that I was constantly being told that I was falling further and further behind that goal. I am upping it gradually now, so I changed it back down to 80, I think in August. I dropped it back down to 80 books and now I'm really close to 80. If I hit that, I'll probably up it to 90. If I hit 90 with enough time to go, I then will up it to 100. So I think that's what I'm going to do next year. If I hit the 52, I will then increase it to what I think is realistic for the time frame I have left and keep doing that until we get to the end of the year. I'm also planning 2 different readathons next year, if you don't know. If you want to know about my readathons, follow me on Twitter. I'm at A Home for the Lost, and then my readathon Twitter is at Pixar-a-thon, as in Pixar, the movie franchise. So in February, we are planning a Toy Story readathon, which is hopefully going to be huge because I've got 6 different team captains for it. And then in June or July, we're going to have Pixar-a-thon again, which is the one I ran earlier this year. So I've already got a few books I've earmarked for prompts I've come up with for the Toy Story readathon, and there's a few other books as well that I do really want to read that I know I probably won't get to this year, like Red, White and Royal Blue is one that immediately comes to mind that I'm thinking I'm going to read in January. Okay, so that is a really short tag. I hope that gave you a bit more of a picture of how my reading's gone this year and what I'm planning to read next year. I'm really excited. This has been a really great reading year for me. I've had really broad books and I've read fiction and non-fiction, I've read graphic novels, I've read a lot more middle grade than I normally do. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think just to end the video, I want to talk about some of my reading goals for next year. Next year, I'm really hoping to increase the amount of middle grade that I'm reading because I'm really, really enjoying that, and to also increase the amount of adult fiction that I'm reading, whether that's fantasy or contemporary or historical, any of the above. And that's because I feel like I'm aging out of young adult and it's starting to get a bit irritating for me, but middle grade feels fun and whimsical in a way that young adult doesn't. And then I think I do need to start exploring the world of adult fiction a bit more because I think that's where my, maturity is leading to. Not that reading young adult makes you immature, I think just for the way that my brain is maturing, it's leaning more towards the adult stuff, which is fine, and I've been so grateful to young adult for carrying me through so many years, but I'm really excited to explore new horizons, I guess you could say, and explore middle grade and adult fiction a bit more. I am hoping I can read as many books as I read this year, but probably won't because I'll be a lot busier. And there's so many books on my TBR for next year, just in my head, that if I don't get to them this year, they're going to be top. You know, every month or so I review my TBR cart because I rank it, and the top shelf hasn't really changed because so many books I'm so hyped for. So if I don't get through that top shelf by the end of the year, I can guarantee those books are going to be read at the beginning of next year. If you want a tour of my TBR cart, let me know down in the comments or on Twitter. Reach out to me and let me know, because I'd love to do that if that's something people are interested in. If you liked this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to see more content from me. All of my links to my socials are down in the description below. I highly recommend you follow me on Twitter because that's where I'm most active. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video and of my plans for this year and next year, and also let me know if you want that TBR cart tour video. Thank you so much for watching. It has been wonderful making all these videos, and I am so happy that I've reached the point that I can get things like a ring light and feel like this is becoming more of a thing for me. So thank you so much for sticking with me through this and for joining me if you've just joined me. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!